Hey guys, it's John from Everyday Carrying. Thanks for watching. It's Talk About Thursday. This Thursday, I'm going to talk about why I use an appendix carry rig most of the time and debunk some of the myths that kind of follow appendix carry as well. First of all is, the rig itself. I'm gonna tuck my shirt in behind it here just so you can see. There are so many different forms of appendix carry, and one of the main reasons why most people don't like it is they say it's extremely uncomfortable. I think that part of that is because they don't have the correct holster for the system that they're wanting to use. I really prefer the Incog holster from G-Code. I think it's one of the best holsters on the market. Fantastic retention, adjustable retention on the holster. Just one of the most comfortable holsters that I have found. So that's what I use mostly, but there are different options. Most of the time what people do is they use holsters that really aren't meant for appendix carry, or they're an appendix carry rig that's too big, and that's where it starts to become uncomfortable. I found that through the last couple of years that I've appendix carried, most of the discomfort comes the wider the holster gets. The deeper it gets doesn't bother me as much, but when it starts to get wider and dig into my hip areas, that's where it starts to get uncomfortable. Now there are a couple different options. Like I said, you could go with the Incog holster. If you prefer to run a light, I know it seems big, it's my Walther PPQ. This is an XFER. That's what it's called, XFER, from Armadillo Concealment. What this is actually an attachment for Surefire lights. You can get it for the X300 or the X300 Ultra. And what's really cool about this is any light that has an X300 light on it, I can put in it and carry that gun. So if somebody handed me, say a Glock right now with an X300 on it, I could use this holster. A Smith & Wesson, a SIG, didn't matter what the gun was, even a 1911. As long as it has a Surefire light on it, I can use it and use it as an appendix rig. But as you can see, it's barely any wider than the actual gun and light is itself. Extremely comfortable to wear. I wear this quite often, when I'm going around, and this is a great option if you tend to carry a light on your firearm. If you want to go even a more minimalistic approach, you could go with the Raven Vanguard 2, extremely small holster. They make these for M&Ps and Glocks, and all it does is cover the trigger housing. That's all it covers. The rest of the frame, the grip, everything is completely free and clear. All that this does is cover the trigger guard and the trigger itself so that you can't grab the trigger as you're pulling it out. So first I would say if you've never tried appendix carry, you wanted to, really do some research on the holster itself, because that's the first step to be in an extremely comfortable carry system is the holster itself. The second kind of myth that goes along with appendix carry that everybody wants to say is, well, if I carry appendix, I could shoot my junk. Yes, that is a possibility if you aren't using proper safety rules with holding and carrying and withdrawing a firearm. Yes, that could happen. Very unlikely if you are safe and properly use firearms. There's really no way. You keep your finger out of the trigger guard, it's not going to go bang. And one of the things that I will say is, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to shoot my junk, so I'll carry it, at my 3 o'clock or whatnot. Listen, if that gun is at any angle at all as you're putting it back into that 3 o'clock side holster and it goes off, it's going into your hip, potentially into your femoral artery, which is way worse than shooting yourself, in your private section. I mean, that could lead into death, in a matter of a minute or so from you bleeding out because it hit a huge artery that's running up and down your body. So to say that it's safer to carry it, on your side rather than appendix really isn't true, and like I said, as long as you're safe with the firearm, there's no need to really even worry about that. The gun is never going to go off by itself in the holster if the trigger, is protected. So let's get rid of the thought that this is a dangerous way to carry a firearm as well. So John, why do you like using an appendix carry so much? The reason why I like it so much is, number one, it gives me the most control I feel over my firearm when I'm carrying it. Since it's in front of me, I know I could even stand just like this, and I know that both hands are always on my firearm and no one could ever take it. You know, if it was on my side, you know, and my shirt came up, I didn't see it, somebody could, you know, potentially grab it. You know, it's just further away. Where when it's in my appendix region, it's right in front of me, and I have the most control over what's going to happen with this firearm. The other, number two, is I like the fact that this is the most ambidextrous way to carry a firearm and a spare magazine. You know, if something were to happen to my right hand, it is the easiest way for me to, you know, reach my hand over and access it with my left hand. If my firearm was all the way over, I am right-handed. If it was all the way over, you know, at my 3 o'clock, it's much more difficult to reach all the way around to get my gun out. You know, if I were to need it, if my right arm was immobile, or vice versa if you're left-handed. So it's centrally located on the body, and it's the easiest access for both hands in case something were to happen. So those are the two, you know, the main reasons why I carry appendix the most, and why I think it's beneficial over a strong side. Now, the fact that a lot of people say that it's slower as an appendix carry rather than strong side, that all depends on how much you practice. I can be pretty much just as fast with an appendix carry as I am with a strong side carry, and I'm definitely faster than a 5 o'clock, you know, pull and displaying the gun on target. So for me, it's really not slower. That I think is all due to practice and, you know, and getting your mechanics right with the draw, and it can be just as fast as a strong side carry. So that's another kind of myth that, you know, sometimes needs to be broken. So guys, that's why I appendix carry. Later weeks from now, I'm going to go into the exact systems that I use and some techniques that I use as well for, you know, pulling the firearm out and reholstering it. But I just wanted to kind of break a few of the myths that kind of go along with appendix carry. If you have any questions about appendix carry, feel free to leave them below, and I'd be glad to comment on them as well. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And as always, if you need more EDC information on a daily basis, check us out on Facebook at Everyday Carrying. Until next time, be safe.